Welcome back to 5 Minute Founder, where we uplift entrepreneurs. Today I'm with Jen Chenoweth, and she's your LinkedIn gal. I'm Kelly Carpy, your host. I love doing these interviews. This is our 13th one. No, 14th.
Yes.
You are number 14.
Oh my gosh.
And Jen has a really cool business. So Jen, how I always start these interviews is ask you a silly fact about yourself so they can get to know you. Are you ready?
Yes, this was the most nervous I was for this entire interview, by the way. I was like, what's silly? But I have a good one for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
Over the last week, I have poured over 6,000 glasses of beer.
Okay, give us more. That's not enough. State fair, I'm assuming?
State fair. Yes. My kids wanted to have their first job, and the state fair was a great trial for 14-year-olds in their first job. And so they said, well, if we do it, Mom, you got to do it with us because we need a ride. And I said, sounds great. And so I was pouring beer at a booth at the state fair over the last 2 weekends, which was very fun. And yeah, a good question would be, what's the number one selling beer that I poured?
Okay.
It was dill pickle beer.
Dill pickle beer.
Naturally.
Only at the Minnesota State Fair.
Only at the Minnesota State Fair, which is very fun. Yes.
That's such a good fun fact. Now, the 14-year-olds didn't pour the beer.
They did not. They were emptying garbages. Yeah. Which is a good job for a 14-year-old. Like, it really taught them, they got a lot of steps in the day, and it taught them the value of work and what that work ethic looks like. So we had a lot of fun with it. The State Fair is a really good place to do some fun working and just explore beyond your normal comfort zone. I love doing things like that. So yeah.
I love it. Yeah. What a fun couple of weeks you had.
Yes, we had a fun couple of weeks.
Okay, so Jen has had her business for over 11 years, and she's your LinkedIn gal. What does that mean, and what services do you offer?
Yeah, so really my focus in my business is helping amplify people and their careers or their companies and their visibility. And when I started this business back in 2014, people really looked at LinkedIn as kind of like a job seeking tool. And I looked at LinkedIn more like a brand building tool. And how can we use this platform to share stories of people and what they want to do? Because I believe when we share our stories with other people, it just gives us another way for our dreams to come true. And I've seen such magic happen when people share their hopes, their dreams, their beliefs with people. And all of a sudden, all these amazing people in our community step forward and try to help people. And so if I can be a facilitator in that, that's like a job well done for me. So,
I love that. Yeah. Okay. So when you started this company, what was the hardest part about kind of getting up and running?
Yeah. I think a lot of people think you've got to have a lot of things figured out about your business before you get started. And I did not have a business name. So I went to a website and sort of tried to figure out, like, what's the least expensive name that's the clearest value proposition. So that's why I came up with the LinkedIn gal. I researched the LinkedIn lady, the LinkedIn woman. All of those were already taken.
Okay.
So the gal part was unique. And what's really what was unique about how I got started is I sort of just started offering my services. I didn't research, what does it cost, or do I have a website? In fact, I bartered with my Pilates instructor to build my first website. She wanted to ramp up her LinkedIn presence. I needed a website. And so we kind of did a barter process. And I would tell most business owners, focus on the value that you want to give to just one customer. Try it, and then do it over and over and over again. And you'll come up with a price point that feels right. You'll come up with a service mix that feels right. But I think so many times people put a lot of thinking into this instead of the doing. And I think there's so much to be learned through the doing. So that's the thing that I think I did right when I started. But people were like, what's your website? And I was like, I don't have one. What's your email address? Here's my Gmail address. I mean, I didn't have a lot of things figured out, but in time I figured it out, so fast forward 11 years and it's like, yes, I have a website, all of an LLC, really structured, all of those things. But I think those are the hardest part of and then own what you do when you do it really well. And it's okay to be simple and to be narrow, because there's always opportunities to grow and expand. And so through the last 11 years, I've gotten my coaching certification. I help people write resumes. I have a corporate program. I have a college student program. But none of that was on the radar when I started. It was just about helping, a person who's like, I'm struggling with my career and what can I do next? And I was like, let's talk more about that. And how can you use LinkedIn to help you? And so I think in that doing, just keep learning and growing and believing in yourself. Yeah.
I love that advice for other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't send you this question.
Okay.
But since you already answered that question, what would be your number one piece of advice for people on LinkedIn? Because that's primarily where our show airs. And a lot of people are trying to use it for such a variety of purposes.
Yeah. It's hard to boil it down to one thing. But I kind of like to start with basic things. So review your profile once a year and make sure it's still accurate. Like it's an accurate representation of who you are and where you're at in your career. Yeah. So many people neglect basics. So just pick it up, look at it once a year and ask yourself, is this a fair and accurate representation of who I am and what I care about?
I love that.
And then the next thing that gets in people's way is, what the heck can I talk about on LinkedIn? Because it feels scary to put yourself out there. And so I normally tell people, like, what we talk about on LinkedIn should be the stuff that we're already talking about. It's just one more venue that you talk about the things that you really care about in real life. And so if we focus our conversations on LinkedIn on the topics that we really do enjoy talking about and we're already having conversations about, we'll just be having more of those conversations. And so success for me on LinkedIn is never about like views or impressions. Yes, those are all important metrics to track. Yeah. But I view true success as, did something I posted on LinkedIn result in a real life conversation? And if that happens, to me, that's kind of the magic in all of it. It's like, did I relate to another human being on a really organic level? And did we have a cool conversation? Yeah. That to me is like home run.
That's so good. And just so you know, this is what she does. So I'll be requesting Venmos from everyone that's watched this video for the advice you got. Okay, so if someone's watching and they're like, I really need this, how do they get a hold of you? Who's your ideal client that could use your services?
Yeah. The majority of people I work with are sort of mid-career professionals who want a change, a shift. It could be, I want to be in a different role in my same company. I need to show up differently in my role. I'm exploring different roles outside of other companies, sort of at that like career impasse. Like I need to do something different. Or businesses who are looking to grow their LinkedIn presence. Those are like my two core client groups. And the easiest way to reach out to me is to visit my website, which is www.thelinkedingal.com.
The LinkedIn Gal. I love that you landed on Gal. It feels like Gal Pal, like someone that you can talk to. Aww. I know you did research, but
I love that.
I personally
not
think
as much as you. You're giving me a lot of credit.
Better than LinkedIn Woman. Yes. If I came in and I was like, she's the LinkedIn Woman, that feels a little out of place.
Yeah.
But well, thank you so much for your time for the conversation and for the free advice. It is free. I was teasing about the Venmo, friends. But if you want to get a hold of her, go ahead and go to her website. And thank you for watching 5 Minute Founder, where I uplift entrepreneurs. I'm Kelly Carpy, your host again. And if you know of a founder, a small business owner, an entrepreneur that needs to be on the show, go ahead and write their name in the profile or DM me. Thank you again for your time, Jennifer.
Thank you. Yes.
Take care.